So thank you very much for coming today. We're obviously at Leichhardt for a significant announcement today. Just like to apologise on behalf of Chair Robbie Farah, who's down in Canberra, tied up with work. Representing the board of West Tigers is Tony Andracchio down the end there. I'll go across to Robbie, who can talk about his playing future.
Yeah, so I'm just here today, obviously, to let you all know that I've actually re-signed for a couple of years. Just here to obviously announce, as you all know, that I'll be retiring from the NRL at the end of the season. It's actually a decision that probably made a fair while back, but we've kept under wraps just in terms of the timing of it. I had a chat with Madge maybe about 4 or 5 weeks ago now, and I kind of let him know what I was thinking as well. And I just, with the time around, we had obviously Benji's 300th coming up, and then my own, and so it was pretty difficult to come out and say it at the time. But now that we've got that out of the way, and before our Leichhardt game this Thursday night, we thought it was the right time now to make that announcement. So it's one I've thought long and hard about, but I definitely think it's the right decision, and I think the opportunity for me to go out on my terms is a big thing. I feel like I'm still playing some good footy, but you never know what the future holds, and it's been a blessing for me to come back to this club and have the opportunity to finish my career here. It's more than I could ever ask for, and I think now the time is right. And as I said, I just feel like the opportunity to go out on my terms and maybe not play a year too long. Obviously, it's been a struggle with my body through my career, and it's just I think the last hopefully 10 weeks to go in the season. I'll just give everything I've got in that and finish on a good note. But just on that, obviously I've just written down some people I want to thank along the way. You don't get through a career like I have without so many people around me, and the network I've had is incredible. And just first and foremost, all my family and friends. Madge saw firsthand how much of a crazy bunch they are up in Newcastle last week. They'll probably be double this Thursday at Leichhardt, and without them, none of this would have been possible. They've been there right through all the thick and thin, and they've picked me up when I was down and pushed me along, and they've been my inspiration, really. Everything I've done through my career is to represent my family name with pride, and I'd like to think I've done that. To all the fans and members, the support I've had has been absolutely incredible. The love they show me is the reason why I go out and play the way I play every week, and the passion I show on the field is a reflection of their passion for the club. And the messages I've got, social media, phone text, everything. It's very humbling, and I can't thank them enough for the support they give me. They've seen me grow up from a young 18-year-old kid to the man I am today, and I can't thank them enough for everything they've done for me. Both clubs I've been at, obviously the Tigers, first and foremost. The majority of my career, it's a club, as you guys know, I've loved so much. I'm so passionate about. Sometimes that passion spills over, but it's only because I care so much about this place. And as I said, it's a dream come true for me to come back and have the opportunity to finish my career at this club that I never ever thought would happen. All the sponsors of this club, Lee from Bryden's, current major sponsor, all the sponsors we've had through my career that have been there to support not only the club but myself. Thank you very much, and I'm sure we'll continue to have a very strong relationship moving forward. My teammates, current and ex-teammates, I've loved playing with every single one of them. They've taught me so much along the way. From when I started, Darren Senna, who was a hooker here at this club, and he was about to retire, and he showed me the ropes and taught me what it was like to be a first grader. The 2005 squad, the senior players there, Mark O'Neill, John Scandalis, Benny Galea, Toddy Payton, I could go through and name every one of those guys. Brett Hodgson, they taught me so much. That the love I have for this club was built from those guys, and what they passed down to me. My manager, Sam Ayub, we've been through a lot together, mate, but the one thing through all that, mate, is you've stood by my side, and mate, I can't think. I know I take the piss out of you a fair bit, but mate. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me, mate. I love you. Yeah, I don't know who else the Bunnies. It'd be remiss of me to not speak about the Bunnies as well. That was obviously a short period of my career, but I can't thank them enough for the opportunities they gave me as well. They're a great club, a proud club, and they are where they are for a reason. There's so many great people involved in that place, and they took me in with both arms, and I formed many great friendships there. So many great people that I'm still friends with now, and I will be into the future. And they just treated me like I was one of their own, and then obviously they were, I guess, accommodating in the fact they let me come back here too, where they didn't really have to do that. So to everyone at the South Sydney Football Club, thank you so much for what you did for me. And I guess the silver lining in me leaving the Tigers is that in some way I'm a part of the Rabbitohs history and will be forever. So thank you to everyone at the Rabbitohs. I guess another big one's the medical staff that have been through everything with me through my career. Three people, namely my brother Eddie from the Rabbitohs, Pete Mooser at the Tigers, and Pierre, my chiro, who they've worked around the clock at times, late hours just to get me on the field. No pay, no recognition. They do it because of their love and their care, and they bend over backwards to get me on the field every week. And as I said, they don't get the thank yous or the recognition, but without them, I probably would have retired 5 years ago, to be honest. So, I'm forever indebted to what they've done for me. Justin, Madge, he was one of the reasons, or the main reason I went to the Rabbitohs, to be honest, at the time. And I'm glad I did, because not only is Madge a great coach, but I think first and foremost, mate, you're a great man. I love everything that you stand for, and we got to celebrate my 250th at the Rabbitohs with you, mate. You made that special, and I never thought that we'd both be back here one day, and got the opportunity to celebrate my 300th on the weekend, and you made that so special for me, my family, mate. So I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, mate. And I know you're the right man to take this club into the future, and I know you got an assistant coach's job waiting for me down the track as well. So, but if I've missed anyone, I'm sorry. The media, you guys probably had a bit of running battle with you at times. A lot of you guys I like, some of you I don't, for various reasons. But the one thing about me is if I don't like it, you'll know about it. I guess that's the person I am. I hope you can respect me for that. You always, if there's something I've got to say, you'll hear it from me and not from anyone else. And sometimes my passion spills over and I wear my heart on my sleeve. But thank you for everything you've done for me through my career, all your good ones, all your bad ones. I'm not sorry. So I think that's about it. I think I've covered everyone. If I've missed anyone, I'm sorry. I'm pretty nervous, actually. Had a couple of nips of whiskey before this to calm me down. That's about it, I think. So, yeah.
So just before I was just going to say we'll open up for questions, but just for everyone's sake, Madge and I like you all in the media.
What was the clincher? Was it another pre-season? Was it the fact that you're playing enormously at the moment and you're
there's a lot of things, Michelle, I've thought long and hard about. I've spoken to everyone around me, and probably like emotionally it's been tough. I'm very emotionally invested in what I do. I ride the highs and the lows, and that gets draining. I think getting on the field every week's been tough for me. Like I was saying just to my family and friends the other day that I actually haven't missed a game in about 3 years. But getting on the field every week takes a lot of effort and a lot of work. You guys don't see, like there's days where I'll see Pete Mooser in the morning, then have to go see my chiro. Then my brother will bring a physio table to my dad's house at night just to treat me, and I'm working around the clock just to get on the field, and that becomes draining, and the anxiety and the stress that comes with that does become draining. And but I think for me it's just the opportunity to go out on my terms. I think that hasn't always been the case in my career, and now I feel like I'm playing good footy, and I wouldn't want to go a year too long and my body to break down, or I'm not in good enough form, or Madge has got we got a couple of young hookers at the club coming through, and they go past me, and I just wouldn't want that. And I just feel like now the time's right, the club's in good hands, and that's what it came down to in the end. I think it's just I'm just ready.
Robbie, what would it mean for you to finish in the finals?
Oh, everything. Yeah, that's and that's still the focus. We've got 6 games left, and I'm fully focused on that. You know, it's going to be potentially my last 6 games. Hopefully not. Hopefully with my last 10 games. But you know, I'll leave everything out on the field, and I'm sure that you know, we're going to do everything that we can to push for a finals berth, and I'd love to finish on that note. That's for sure.
Robbie, how do you think history will rate you?
Oh, that's not for me to judge, mate. But I think the one thing from me, and I think my teammates and anyone that's been involved with me will tell you, is that I've always given my all. You know, I've left nothing out. I've left nothing in the tank. I don't think there's much more for me to give, and I've always prided myself on the way I train and the way I prepare myself. And as my career's gone on, that's become a bit more of a struggle. I've had to be a bit smarter about it, but sometimes that gets me in trouble, because imagine the training staff would be trying to pull me off the training field, and I'm just telling them, like, go away, like, leave me alone, because I pride myself on doing all those tough things. And so for me, mate, that's I know within myself I've given everything I've got, and I'm content with that.
What's Robbie Farah going to do once the last ball's kicked?
I've taken my jacket off. I got my I thought free plug today. I got my business shirt on, 247. So I got an events company, obviously, that is going from strength to strength, and obviously I'd love to be involved in the club here moving forward. The Tigers have been such a big part of my life that it's going to feel weird when I'm not, you know, lacing up the boots for round 1 next year. But I think, or hopefully, I can still have a big role to play in this club moving forward, and shaping the young boys coming through, and I guess passing on my passion and love for this club onto them. I think if they hear and understand from me and the other guys like Benji and the other senior players why we love this club so much and how much we care about this club, and we can instill that into them, you know, then they can take this club forward to the places that we need to take them to. And yeah, I've got no doubt that I'll be involved in this club for hopefully a long time to come.
So you spoke last week about his passion, that, you know, he's like an individual that you sort of haven't come across before, jogging in the backyard one time.
Yeah, I've known sort of the Farahs for quite some time. I work with his brother Eddie at South, and I definitely got to know what made up the Farah family, and I understand Robbie as a person, of why he is who he is and how competitive he is, and that's probably through his dad, you know, and his beautiful mum. So I think a lot of people probably won't really understand the Robbie Farah like I do, because as a coach you really get to know the real person, and the passion that he has is definitely something that's always stood out to me around what's made him the player he is. And as he said, he's probably got himself in trouble a few times, but it's understanding the individual like I've got to know Robbie. And I think if players can understand what allowed him to get to 300 games and still going, is all the commitment and the time. And yeah, there's days there where he'd work on his body pretty well 24 hours a day just to be able to play. And I remember an Origin, whilst I was actually coaching at South, and his brother was there treating every moment he wasn't at our work, when he was working on the players, just to be able to commit himself to be able to play. But I see him do that every week to be able to get his body right. So I guess the passion of those sorts of things has always been something that's really stood out to me, and the reasons why, you know, he'll be around this club for a long time.
Robbie, tasted success so early in your career. Has anything come close to that high in the last 15 years since then?
Oh, definitely, mate. There's been a lot of great moments. Obviously, the opportunities I had in State of Origin, and the time I had there, even though there was a lot of struggle. I think when we finally won that series in 2014, having worked so hard to win it, that was a massive moment. Yeah, for me, my family. Representing Lebanon at the World Cup, that was a big moment for me and my family as well. I'm very proud of my Lebanese heritage, and to have the opportunity to captain Lebanon at the World Cup and play with one of my best mate is standing at the back of the room, Chris Saab, who still got the shits with me for taking the captaincy off him. But yeah, to have those opportunities for me are massive, you know, whilst it might not be the same, I guess calibre of playing for Australia and things like that. For me, playing for Lebanon is just up there as proud a moment for me as playing for Australia, and then just having to come back having the opportunity to come back to this club. Like, I just never thought that would happen after leaving. And at times there, I thought my career was going to finish playing reserve grade at the Bears. And as I said during the week, I was fortunate enough to have so many people around me to keep me going and push me and keep telling me to hang in there and things will turn. And I'm lucky I did, because I'm grateful now that this opportunity came up to come back to this club and get to finish here and sit here in this seat now. And as I said at the start of this press conference, to finish on my terms and hopefully go out a winner, having played semi-final footies in September this year.
And how close were you when you were at North Sydney to hanging them up?
Yeah, ask Sammy. I called him after a game one day and told him I was done, and him and a lot of family and friends talked me out of it, and thankfully they did.
Robbie, do you love this club more because of what you went through during that period?
I don't think you could love the club more than I did. I don't think I would have come back if I didn't love the club. With everything I went through, that never changed, and I fought so hard at the time because of the love I have for this club, and I'll always fight for this club. So, yeah, I don't think it's possible, to be honest.
Will you take up that ambassadorial role? Sorry, Justin.
Bring up the wall.
Will you take that up, mate?
We've done the crime, might as well. What do we say?
We haven't had a conversation about that.
No.
That's a conversation that will take place after the next 10 weeks. The focus for Robbie and the club is all about playing finals football.
Robbie, what about grassroots for kids, what you've been able to do and inspire so many kids?
Yeah, I think that's a big one for me, especially coming from a Lebanese background. I think, and I never came from a rugby league family. Football was foreign to us. I was fortunate. Like my dad worked long hours. My brothers were too young; they couldn't drive me to training. I had a trainer that picked me up and took me to and from training every day. And if it wasn't for that, I would never have played football. And I was never really obsessed with playing rugby league. I was a kid that loved sport, and then it's probably through my stubbornness that I became obsessed with playing rugby league. I had a brother that told me I'd never play one game in the NRL. And as soon as he told me that, I just said, all right, well, I'll prove you wrong. And now 300 games later, I'm sitting here. So yeah, I think that for me, that's a big one, because I think I've shown a lot of kids that if you just put your mind to something and you want to achieve something and you want something so bad, you can do it. And especially a lot of young Lebanese kids in the community. A lot of them think it's not possible, but it is. A lot of them coming up to me that have dreams to grow up and play NRL or play for the Cedars, and so that makes me very proud. It makes me very proud. So yeah.
Well, was there a part of you that was tempted to go with Benji, given what you've been through the last couple of years with him? And was there a part that felt that would be nice to go out together?
Oh, it'd be nice. It'd be ideal, but I think we're both different, and we never really spoke about it, to be honest. I told Benji yesterday before training. I kind of mentioned it to him a few times in the past few weeks, but I don't think he took me seriously. And I told him yesterday, and he's like, "Oh, you're actually serious?" And I said, "Yeah, but we're different. He obviously plays in the halves, and he's a year younger than me, even though he calls me an old man. And he's playing great footy. I think he's got more to give if he wants to, and I'm pretty sure he wants to. So." Yeah, look, ideal. Like, it would have been great to go out together, but it's not meant to be. And but as I said, I think he's still got that passion and that drive to keep going. And for me, I just had to think about myself. I couldn't worry about what Benji was doing. It's about myself and my body and my my headspace and what I think I can give. And I just don't think I can give 100% if I went on next year, and that's what it came down to.
At the moment, we've got young Jacob Little, who's been an understudy, and I'm really impressed with how he's developing. He unfortunately spent a couple of years on the sideline through injuries, so this year has probably been his first year of where he's been able to sit in behind Rob. And one thing to Rob's credit is that not only whilst he's helping someone like Jacob Little, I saw him do that at the previous club with Damien Cook. So having Robbie around in some capacity moving forward and those sorts of things will help us in that number 9 position. We've got a young chap coming down from Queensland who's the up-and-coming great hooker at the under-18 level too. So, the development within. So that's what we're looking at the moment.
Justin, are you any closer to nailing down Benji next year?
Look, he's had a conversation with Madge in regards to his intent he wants to play on. We haven't started any conversations around contract, but when we do, they'll be done as they always are, behind closed doors.
Well, a few years ago, there was a pretty emotional afternoon here, and you ended up having a beer up on the scoreboard, and you've been kind of, pushed out not on your own terms. So how glad are you now that it's all your choice, your decision, your terms, that kind of thing?
Yeah, as I said, I never in my wildest dreams that I think I'd have this opportunity. So every day for me back at this club has been a blessing, and the boys make a joke that I actually live up in the scoreboard now. So I've actually put the kettle on. I've got some bickies and scones up there for you guys to come back and have some with me up there after this press conference is over. But yeah, it's incredible, mate. It's incredible. I remember sitting at a lunch with a lot of my mates 3 years ago when I left, and I was in tears, and I just never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be back here. And yeah, I can retire. I can retire now, just being content with the opportunities I've had, and yeah, I'm just grateful for that.